Alright guys, today we're gonna make a home profile, but not just one profile, but multiple profiles and linked with each other. So we got a lot of actions and also using a lot of variables. So in my case, I'm gonna make a home profile with two Wi-Fi access points. And it will do the same. If I'm connected to one of the two access points, it would be the same. That's the point we're working to it. So as you will see in the background my notepad, and at the right you will see my phone, so you can also following up everything, and I'm trying to write it down. So let's think a little bit with me. So I hope you can follow. It's not gonna be that easy, but I'm trying to do my best. So for some people it will be piece of cake, and for other people it will be a little bit difficult. So let's try it together. If you have any questions, you can ask those questions at my Google page under the tutorial. So let's try to think together. How does my phone knows if I'm home? My phone knows I'm home if I'm connected to certain cell towers. So let's try to make that at first. So if connected to cell towers, the first thing it will say gonna jump in, say welcome home. If I'm not connected to cell towers, it would say double point goodbye. I'm using just some text, but if you want you can use other text as well. So this is just an example. Goodbye. Here. Also like that. If I'm connected to to certain cell towers, it would say, my phone would say, welcome home. Maybe your name after that. You can choose that as well. Then, if I'm connected, the first thing we have to do is mobile data is off. And we say here mobile data is on. And when mobile data is off, we gonna say Wi-Fi is on. And when we are leaving the cell towers, we're gonna say Wi-Fi is off. I hope you can understand that. If you want to make a profile, don't try to make a profile at once. Try to think in steps. So I'm doing that. If I'm connected to cell towers, I would say welcome home. And if I'm not connected to cell towers, I'm saying goodbye. I'm also thinking in the opposite. So that's my profile. That's very easy. So that's looking good, but still I'm not happy with that. The first thing I want to do is using variables. I want to use variables that I can use also in other tasks. So that would be easier for me. So when I'm home, I will set variables where mi sets to home. Otherwise, when I'm not home, my variable would be set variable where am I to outside. Most people would say I'm gonna set a variable home is on, and when I'm not at home I would set a variable home is off. That should work. So I'm thinking a little bit further. So when I'm in the car, it would be, in my case, would be set a variable where am I car. So as you see, I'm using one variable for 3 locations. That's quite easy. I only have to remember one variable for everything. When I'm at work, gonna set var where am I to work. So that's easier for me to remember everything. I'm using one variable for different locations. You can do it like I said before. You can set variable home is on, home is off, car is on, car is off, work is on, work is off. You can do that as well, but you have 4 variables. So in my opinion, it's a little bit too complex to remember everything. So I'm using one variable. I hope it makes sense for you as well. So I'm gonna delete those last lines because I'm not gonna use that. So that's how I'm doing the first thing. But at home, I've got a different situation. In my case, I have 2 access points, but when I'm connected to one of the 2 access points, it has to do some tasks. It should be, if I'm connected to the first one, should be trigger the task, or if I'm connected to the other one, it could be also trigger the task. So if connected to Wi-Fi and I'm gonna say Wi-Fi underscore DR1 actions else, and if I'm connected to Wi-Fi DR2, you're gonna use some actions as well, otherwise else. And what actions would those be? Those actions would be home settings on. Otherwise, I gotta use home settings off. And those actions are the same when I'm connected to the other to my other Wi-Fi access points. So I hope you get the point what I'm doing right now. So those home settings are other tasks as well. So we're going further. Like I said, it's getting a little bit complex right now. We have 2 access points right now, and we're gonna do some actions, and those actions are actually tasks. So when we make another task, home settings, settings on will be, for example, connected to home, sorry, say connected to home Wi-Fi. And those tasks will be also have screen lock screen is off. Let's say the task home settings is off, and let's say do the same, but I'm sorry, I'm not connected anymore to your Wi-Fi, and home lock screen is back on. So let's try to make that. That's very complex. So this one, all those sets variable where am I home is one task. That also one task. That is one task. That's one task. That's one task, and that's one task. I'm gonna make that. Let's do it. So tasker is opened. So let's make all those things. So if connected to cell towers, that is my trigger. So let's make first the tasks and then do the triggering work. So this will be an exit task. I'm thinking yes. So let's do the first task. The first task will be that. So let's make the first task. So plus gonna say it set var home. Okay, set var home. So we're gonna say set var home. That's that. So we're gonna plus. I'm gonna go a little bit faster right now. So if you saw my previous tutorials, you would understand what I'm doing right now. So I'm going a little bit faster as normal. So set variables. We're gonna set a variable, and we're gonna set where am I to home. Okay, go back. That's our first task. We're gonna say something plus mask say. We're gonna say hello, comma, welcome home. Point. Okay, go back, and we're gonna put mobile data off. Plus, we gonna net where are your mobile data is off right now. Yes, okay, and we're gonna say net Wi-Fi is on. So our first task is finished. That's the first one. So then we're gonna make a task set var outside. Go back, plus set var outside, and we're gonna set plus variables. Where are you? Set a variable where am I? Where am I? To outside. Okay, outside, and we say I'm gonna say something else. Say I'm leaving home, right? Wait, alright. No, I'm leaving home right now. Go back, and then we say here mobile data plus nets. Mobile data is on. Go back, plus, and we say I'm sorry, going back, the wrong task, I was too fast. Gonna use nets, and we say Wi-Fi is off. Okay, that's that. The second task is done. And then let's make the home settings on and the home settings off. So the home settings on is very easy. So let's make home wait, settings on. I'm sorry, I have that one. We're gonna home settings on one. Yes, sometimes I use some task in my own profiles, so I can't use those in tutorials as well. So the home settings is on, and the home settings, let's say, connected to your home Wi-Fi. So let's do it. Misc say, and I'm gonna say connected to your home home Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. Okay, and we use that. Okay, go back, and the next thing is lock screen is off, plus you can secure settings, but I'm gonna do it the other way. Display, we're gonna use keyguard is off indeed, and go back. Home settings is on, so I'm gonna copy that, clone that, and I'm gonna say off, and let's edit that. Edit is connected to your home Wi-Fi. I'm gonna delete that. I'm sorry, I'm not connected. I'm not connected anymore to your home Wi-Fi. and use that. Also go back. So that's done, and the second thing is lock screen is back on, so we use keyguard is back on. So we have our for tasks right now. So that's very fast. I know I talk too much, but I will give you any explanations how I'm doing something. So now we have to make any triggers, and let's go to profiles, and we click on tab plus, and we use in this case states. We use a state, we use phone, and we use cell near, and we use the search buttons. So those are my recents. I can scan it, yes, so I can scan it, and it will find some cell towers. So I'm using this one, and we go back. So if I'm connected to that cell tower, we're gonna use set var home. Otherwise, when I'm not connected, I'm gonna use an add exit task, and we're gonna set var outside. So that's the first trigger or the first profile. The secondary profile would be this one. If I'm connected to Wi-Fi DR1, and if I'm home, also do my home settings, otherwise don't use my home settings. So let's do it. So I'm gonna make a new profile. So this will be states. I'm gonna use variables, variable value. We're gonna use in this case, where am I? Where I'm sorry, uppercase. Where am uppercase? Where am I? And we're gonna say matches, and we say home. Okay, we gonna trigger home settings on. In my case, it would be home settings on 1. Otherwise, home settings off. So at exit task, we gotta use, where are you? Should be alphabetic. Home settings off 1. And so, and for now, it would say when the value where am I matches home settings will be loaded, but I have to be also connected to Wi-Fi DR1, so we have to add another trigger or another context. So when you long press that one, you can add another. So long press, we're gonna add, and in this case we are state, and we say net Wi-Fi connected, and Wi-Fi in my case Wi-Fi underscore DR1. Okay, you can use also the magnify glass, but I won't do that, otherwise you will get some personal info of my network, so I won't do that. So I go back, and what does it say? When so when the variable where am I matches home, so I'm home, and I'm connected to my Wi-Fi DR1, my home settings will be loaded, otherwise home settings will be off. We're gonna rename that we're gonna connected Wi-Fi damped Wi-Fi 1. Save it, and we're gonna rename this as well. We're gonna what's the we're gonna rename var home, so it would make any sense for me. So we have to do the same for this one. The home settings will be loaded when I'm connected to Wi-Fi DR2 and when I'm of course home. So gonna copy that, this long press, the same thing, 3 dots, clone, and I'm gonna rename that to 2 and save it, and only the difference will be here, Wi-Fi connected to DR2. So what does it do? When I'm home, this means when I'm near the cell towers that I scanned before, it will set a variable home, otherwise it would set a variable outside. And then my Wi-Fi is also on when this when this variable home is on at home, so match home, and my connected to my Wi-Fi, it would trigger my home settings, otherwise it would be off. Or when I'm connected to my home and Wi-Fi DR2, my home settings would be also be loaded, otherwise it would be off. So when I'm connected to, when I come home and this will be triggered, my Wi-Fi goes on and I'm connected, for example, Wi-Fi 1. So the home settings will be loaded. So when I'm not connected anymore to my Wi-Fi, I lose my connection with the first Wi-Fi. It would say I'm not connected anymore, like, sorry, I'm not connected anymore to your Wi-Fi. Home settings is off, lock screen is back on, and when I'm connected to the other Wi-Fi, it would trigger again my home settings on. So I hope you would understand it. This is a little bit complex. This task is based on if I'm home, if I'm connected to certain cell towers, and if I'm connected to an access point. This does the same thing, only another access point. So when I'm lose connection with one or the two access points, home settings will be off. Otherwise, when I'm connected to that or that, home settings will be on. If I'm not connected anymore to those cell towers, my variable will be outside. So set a variable outside. And then you can make another profile outside, and you can use other things as well. You can also make other profiles where work. You put any tag on that, and you can also make their car, for example, connected to your Bluetooth in your car. etc. So I hope you would understand a little bit the process what I'm doing. This wasn't that easy. I like using variables because with variables you can do way more than normal profiles. So I hope you like that. It was not that easy as I thought, but I hope you learned something about that. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, just ask me on my page and I will try to help you as well, or other people, other followers will help you as well. So thank you.